wonders of space. It keeps amazing you. Do you remember when you first learned about it, about space, about the solar system, about the whole thing? Probably at school, probably from a book, and that's what I want to talk about, books. They have been endlessly romanticized. Rainy day, make some coffee and pick a good book. Alone at home, find company in your favorite novel. That's what we say. Here's what I am trying to say. Reading is like any other habit. It depends a lot on the setting, on your mood. The question is, how do you set that mood? How do you make people want to read? Let me show you what Norway has done. What you see is their public library, an emphasis on the word public. This library is in the city of Oslo. It's completely free. You can just walk in from the streets. There is only one rule, lights out by 10 p.m. I know what you're thinking. 10 p.m., who needs that much time in a library? But trust me, in this library you would. You would need all the time in the world. It's got a wine bar, fun study places, reading nooks, cafes to take a break, a music studio with drums and guitars, a workshop with 3D printers, and if you're still not impressed, you will be now. Look at the view from the library. The terrace opens up to the waterfront. It's a great place to see the sunset. This year, the Oslo Public Library was voted the best library in the world by the IFLA. That's the Federation of Library Associations and Institutions. Frankly, it's an easy pick. On most days, this library is packed. The normal capacity is 3,000 people. Thanks to the Wuhan virus, it's now down to 1,000. There is an important lesson to be learned from this project. Stacking books on a shelf does not create a library, at least not anymore. You must make the reader feel welcome. You must make them stay longer, and most importantly, make them pick up the book, any book. This library does exactly that. It offers a wholesome experience. It becomes an exciting trip to look forward to. Unfortunately, that's not the case everywhere. In most countries, a trip to the public library is a different kind of adventure. You must navigate through dusty shelves, make sense of the distorted arrangements, and finally deal with the disinterested librarian. Trust me, it's an ordeal. And these bad experiences discourage people from reading. Not everyone can buy books all the time. So what's the solution? To answer this question, we must look at how public libraries are structured. How do they run? Most public libraries have 4 basic characteristics. They use tax money, they serve the public interest, they're open to all, and they're free. This is the plus point of a public library. It is run by the government, for us, the public. Unfortunately, that's also the downside. Most governments do not spend enough on public libraries. They do not consider it to be a priority. I'll give you the example of India. In rural areas, there is one library for 11,500 people. In urban areas, one for 80,000 people. 80,000. India spends, you won't believe it, India spends 0.07 rupees per capita on public libraries. That's 7 paise, 0.07 rupees. I won't even bother converting it to dollars. This is simply not enough, and you don't need me to tell you that. Governments need to prioritize public libraries. And this must happen at the local government level. I'm talking about investments, upgrading infrastructure, hiring more employees, buying more books, developing that culture. Reading should not be mechanical, it must be organic. When people think about their evening plans, their weekend plans, does a library ever feature on the list? It should. That is the reading culture we need. And this is not a new idea. How a place looks has a direct impact on its efficiency. I can give you an example. Have you ever wondered why hospitals are increasingly looking like hotels? A big lobby, a front desk. The idea is to remove the fear factor. Most people hate going to the hospital. A dull building will only make matters worse. The same thought applies here. Public libraries are key building blocks of society. Not just to read books, but to meet your peers, discuss important matters, basically shape your worldview. The decay of public libraries is a decay of reading. And I'm not saying build an Oslo-like library in every city. That's not even possible, frankly. But at the very least, libraries must be welcoming. They must inspire you to pick up a book. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.